Okay, fifth graders, chapter 11, section 2, and we're talking more about how to figure out the volume. And, I've actually told you guys this already. Some of these things you're going to recognize. Let's look at the first example they give us here. It says, remember that the volume is the number of cubic units, and then they wrote down units cubed. And remember, if we're talking about an exponent of 3, let's see if we had 12 with an exponent of 3, we would say that is 12 cubed. And if it was 12 with an exponent of 2, that would be 12 squared. Okay, so you can always just say, or even write, 3 as an exponent, and that would tell you that we're talking about volume. So anyways, back to this example here. Here we've got something with a length of 6 units, a width of 4 units, and a height of 3 units. And so what did I talk about the other day? Well, length times width times height is equal to volume. And so you're simply going to multiply 6 times 4 times 3. But you could multiply 3 times 4 times 6 or 4 times 6 times 3. The order doesn't matter. And so when you do that, you get a volume of 72. But more specifically and more accurately, we're talking about 72 feet cubed. And that's how you would write your answer, 72 feet cubed. That's important. So another way to figure it out, the volume, is to figure out the base of a particular object. So what is the base of this object? Well, what's 6 times 4? In other words, if you figure out the area of something, if it's 6 feet by 4 feet, and you figure out the area, all right, which is 24, then you just multiply that by the height. And that's what they did. The length times width, you'll get the base, and then you just multiply it by the height, which is 3. And they did that here. And so they came up with the same thing. So that's another way to figure out the volume of a particular object, is just to do the base of the object and then multiply it by the height. All right. So that's a good example. 2 good examples there. So to convince me, what do we have here? It says, give me the dimensions of a different rectangular prism so that the volume has 72 feet cubed. So it's the same thing. So we've already used 6 times 4 times 3. And so they're saying equals 72. So they're saying use a different rectangular prism. Well, again, and I mentioned this just a moment ago, you could change the order. So we could do 3 times 6 times 4. And what are you going to get? 72. 72 feet cubed. Again, if we're talking about a rectangular prism. Is there a way to get 72 without using those exact 3 digits, 3, 6, and 4? I mean, could you use something other than those 3 and get 72 still? I don't know. Somebody can figure that out. If you choose to. But anyways, there's the convince me. Now let's look at the guided practice. Next page. Let's see here. In the example of page 462, could you first multiply the width by the height? Well, I've already explained that to you guys, and the answer is yes. Because multiplication is, that's the associative property. Multiplication is associative. And by that I mean 5 times 2 times 1 is 10. And so if I change the order, 2 times 5 times 1 is also 10. So the order in multiplication does not matter. It's associative property. Okay, let's see here. A wooden block measures 5 centimeters tall, 3 centimeters wide, and 2 centimeters long. The area of the base is 6 centimeters. Draw a rectangular prism to show the block and label it. What's the volume of the block? Well, 3 and 2 and 5. Okay, so I suppose if we were to draw a block, I'll go ahead and do that, and you guys could do it too. Let's see here. 5 centimeters tall, 3 centimeters wide, and 2 centimeters long. So it's more like, actually I'm going to undo this. And I'll just maybe try to do it by hand to be more something like, I don't know, more like this. So let's see, 5 centimeters, 5 cm. And then 2 centimeters wide, 2 cm, and then that would be, let's see, I've done 5, I've done 2, that means that would be 3 cm. So it's not to scale, obviously, but it's close enough, all right? And so we're figuring out the volume. That's that would be how much this would hold in air, in water, you know, in all, you know, any kind of liquid or something that would fill this up. So let's see here, and it says, what is the volume of the block? Well, there you go. There's my first question. What's the volume of this block? And I'll just highlight this one in pink. What is the volume of the block? There's my first question. I've done most of the work for you. Okay, in 3 and 4 here, find the volume of each rectangular prism. Yeah, you can do that. Now look at this one here, number 4, for example. They gave us the base. And so the base is yards square. So we're talking about area. So they gave us the area. So once you have the area of something, then all you need is the height of it, and they gave it 9, because we're just adding layer and layer and layer and layer and layer and layer to get the volume. So so what would this be? This would be 9 times 24 yards squared, or I could write it 9 times 24. We're going to get the same thing. Well, what is 9 times 24? I have no idea. But here's what your answer is going to be. Whatever the number is, then it's going to be yards, and this is important, cubed. All right? So there's a second one I'm going to ask. What's the answer here? All right. Okay. Whoops, a little too far. Okay, come on, I'll get it here. Hang on. Here we go. So in 5 through 10, same thing. You got to find the volume of each one. And in some of them, they give you the area of the base, and then you just multiply it by its height. Same thing here. They give you the area of the base, and then they multiply it by its height. So, and the others, it would just simply be 5 times 4 times 4. And don't forget, it's going to be whatever it's labeled, like for this one, for example. I don't know what the answer is. I'm going to let you figure that out. But it's going to be inches cubed. Make sure you write that in there. So for number 10 here, it's going to be something feet cubed. Remember, cubed is for volume, squared is for area. Okay, let's see here, dropping down to the next page, the problem solving page. The dictionary is 3 inches thick. What is the volume of the dictionary? I like that one. And so I want you guys, this will be the third one I will ask. What's the volume of the dictionary? And let's see here. 2 ovens have the measurements as shown. So this is 15 inches high, and that's 14 inches. Yeah, that is height they're talking about. And then it says, how much greater, which oven has the greater volume, A or B? And then it says, how much greater is its volume? Show your work. Well, what are you going to have to do? You're going to have to figure out the volume of each one, and they give you the base of each one, so you're just going to be multiplying the base times the height, and then you're going to have to subtract the difference. So there's 2 questions here. There's 2 questions. Which oven has a greater volume, and how much greater is its volume? 2 questions. Answer them both. Yeah, that'll be another one. I like that one. You got to answer both those questions. And let's see here, what else we got? I think, whoop. Am I still recording here? I hope I am. Yes. All right. 15, the perimeter of an equilateral triangle is 51 feet. Oh, okay, so this is a little different than what we've been talking about. First off, what's an equilateral triangle? An equilateral triangle is a triangle that has 3 equal sides. In other words, the 3 sides are the same length. So if this side here was 5 inches, then this would be 5 inches, and this would be 5 inches. That would be an equilateral triangle. And we're talking about perimeter. Okay, perimeter. Perimeter is it's not area, it's not volume, it's the measurements of the sides of an object. That's the perimeter. So it says, what is the length of one of its sides? Explain your work. Well, you're going to have to figure that out. If the perimeter is 51 feet and there's 3 sides that are the same length, what would you have to do to figure that one out? I like this one too. I'm going to ask you guys about this one for sure. All right. 14, Harry's in line of the story. He has 3 items that cost that much. Explain how Harry can add the cost of the items mentally before he pays. Oh, well, you're looking for, what did we call that? I think it was called compatible numbers. Numbers that are compatible. $1.05, $5.95, and $4.25. Yeah. Compatible numbers. I mean, I just did it in my head. Hopefully some of you can also. And then finally, number 15 looks like it's multiple choice. Yeah. All right, that's it, you guys. I will see you tomorrow.